just want your extra time and your kiss.
You know, Prince, I agree. A little extra time in your kiss is always a good thing. But what about in public? I've been asking you to respond on Twitter and Facebook. Public displays of affection.
See, what about feeding each other? See, that's where does it start getting creepy?
In restaurants? Mm-hmm. Let's bring in Shila, because she's talked about it on her radio station, Wired. Hi, Shila.
Hi, how
Good
are you?
morning.
Good to
How
see
are you?
After all these months. I'm good.
I know.
So there's a survey out that you've been studying about what the public thinks about public displays of affection.
Yeah, and more specifically with this whole restaurant feeding. About 68% said 1 or 2 bites, fine. But if you're sitting there feeding, like I was sitting there feeding Mike the entire time at Applebee's, like
That makes sense.
this is when it gets a little
sometimes it's like,
nauseating.
oh, here, try this. This is really good.
Right, exactly.
Oh, let me have another bite.
Now look at these two eating cheese fondue. No.
Fondue's scary. You know what? I'll tell you my pet peeve in restaurants. It's when couples sit on the same side of like the bench.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Feed each other like
terrible.
birds.
And about 26% were like, absolutely not, like none of that stuff outside the bedroom. Yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't wanna see
Spaghetti.
it
What
at
was
all.
that movie? The Lady and the Tramp?
Lady and the
Yes.
Tramp, sure, they
Oh,
dogs.
what do you guys think of like 2 straws and a milk-shake, like it was 1950s?
That's just
No,
silly.
I can't.
At the malt shop. Here, you want some grapes
Oh,
or anything? Sure.
You like that?
Maybe 1 or 2 grapes.
Now, you got that from Starbucks. So if you're sitting in the middle of Starbucks doing that.
I can't do. You know, I remember one guy I was dating tried to feed me chocolate-covered strawberries, real sexy, and I just laughed throughout the whole time. I can't take him
That's
seriously.
not good. So majority, almost 70% say they don't want to see that so much in restaurants.
Correct.
Okay, your other topic that I heard you talk about on the radio, and you touched on it again today on your show. And well, real quickly here,
You wanna read some of the comments?
just some comments from you because I promise you we do this. Trisha said, "I wish my boyfriend would show more PDA. I don't mean the couple who has a full, makeout session that makes you want to gag, but other appropriate forms of PDA."
Oh, that's sweet. Karen says, it's gross. You don't need to be all over each other in a restaurant. Not when people are trying to eat in their families. Natalie says, working in a restaurant, I've been scarred. Stop feeding each other. Stop feeding each other. Stop making out and sitting on each other's laps.
Oh, yes.
Some people can be quite creepy.
Who sits on each other's lap, though?
That's
I guess I
just
don't really
crazy.
see it
I
that
see
often.
that in bars sometimes.
Sitting on a lap?
Patrick says, public displays of affection are perfectly acceptable in society. Holding hands, hugging, squeezing, and little kisses are
Squeezing?
fine. Some squeezing going
Is
on,
there
yeah.
something wrong with me? I don't like being held, and I don't want you to hold my hand. I don't want you to go like this to me. I don't want you to hold my hand down
In public or
No, in
anywhere?
public, anywhere. Is that weird?
What about in private? Is it okay?
Yeah, well, yeah.
A little bit?
Just a tad. Just
Okay.
a tad.
No wonder she's single. Anyway, so when there's an age, apparently, and ladies tell me, that you start worrying about getting old. And again, another survey out. What is the age?
29.
Oh, boy.
29.
29's kind of early.
It is early, but you know, when I thought, like, I'm 32, I'm like, that's...
I agree,
was
though.
29 when I was like, I got my first gray hair, which I was like dreading for the gray hairs to start. And my father got it early, and I thought, oh, God, I got his genetics. But 29, it's the age you start worrying. I mean, the facial creams, the wrinkles. The number one thing that women worry about is getting wrinkles. And they have a whole list of like 20 of them. Like, this one was the greatest. They call it bingo wings or something.
What is that?
It's the hanging
Oh,
of
the little floppy parts
the
on your arm.
floppy parts. Yeah, they call it bingo wings. Of course, the getting fat. We did this on our radio show, and people were saying stuff that weren't even on the list, like, receding hairline and stuff's all on the list. Getting gray hair below the belt. Like, who ever thought of that?
I didn't know that was possible.
I didn't know that was possible.
Okay.
Getting gray hair in the eyebrow. Getting, big after kids.
Wow.
Like a whole list of things.
There are all these things in the back of your mind, and it starts at 29.
29.
What did you call these bingo?
They were called bingo wings, and I was
'Cause I guess you're like,
"What is
hey,
that?"
bingo!
Oh, bingo, and they're like flapping in the
Older
wind.
women playing bingo. They get excited and they start flapping.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Wrinkly hands is on the list.
Yeah.
But
spots.
29, you know what? You're almost 30, and you feel
That's
like.
what it is.
But there are all these celebrities now who are 62, 74, who look fantastic. So,
Well, they also have money to keep getting like
Yeah.
chemical peels
I
every
know,
day. I
that's
had a
true.
facial yesterday, and I thought this is the greatest thing in the world if I could afford to do this more
That's
often.
true.
So, but I do hear women check in the mirror for the wrinkle.
The wrinkle, crow's
29.
feet,
Crow's feet,
all
yeah.
of that.
The gray hairs. Karen told me I should just pull mine the other day because I was like, well.
I started pulling it, and I just started dying this year, and I was like resisting, because I feel like right when you start,
That's when it just...
You're giving in, exactly.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Thanks, Shila. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
We'll probably see you next week. There's something I want to do across the street.
Okay.
That's at the National Constitution Center.